Hi everyone, Robert Kechter here with Into the Night. We all know about how music communicates with us. It tells a story. As DJs, we communicate via music. We touch emotions, we transmit it with our audiences. As music listeners, we listen and identify to music. Tonight we're going to take a unique experience in that we're going to go right to the emphasis of where it all starts, in the studio, with Miami-based producer Ed Unger. With a 2-year project, it's called Tale of the Crying Wolf. We're going to experience where adversity is turned into beauty, and that beauty of music. We're going to have both a visual and audio of a journey of this producer's experience, and how he managed to communicate and deliver all this into a full woven story. With that said, we're going to kick everything off with the trailer of Tale of the Crying Wolf, and afterwards, we're going to bring back Ed Unger. Let's do it. Okay, so now you've had a little idea of what's coming at you with that clip of Tale of the Crying Wolf. Now let me give you a little bit of background on the producer and the brains and the driving force behind the project. That would be Ed Unger out of Miami. Now, in the music industry, there's a lot of different people who do a lot of different things. Usually, people only do one. They focus on one space. Ed's not one of those kind of guys. Ed's a guy that is, first and foremost, is an artist, a songwriter, a producer, a live performer. He's even a mix show DJ today. That's who he is. It's like every experience, there's whatever experience there's out there, Ed wants to be a part of it. And he comes in with nothing but passion and drive. And also, too, Ed's the guy that's always there, that wants to share his experience and wants to help others. That's a genuine fact in the business. So with this project, with working on this project, knowing this guy as long as I have, it's my great pleasure to introduce at this time Ed Unger.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for that introduction, man. It's quite an awesome introduction. Man, wow. A lot of this project started from when you and I met in Miami. We've shared a lot of just funny jokes, inside jokes, just walking through conferences, listening to music, sharing experiences DJing and music production. And, we knew each other for quite some time. And the next thing you know, some of our conversations started to unpack just more of what your background has been. And just, I was just blown away by a lot of the things that you've done and accomplished. And then our conversations opened up to some of the web and SEO and e-commerce I was doing. And, it's been such a journey because at one point in time, I think that really opened up the door to talking about music together. And I can't remember how or when, but I was just like, man, I got this catalog of tracks, and I'm not sure what to do with them. What do you think? I just sent it your way, and, your feedback was like, hey, I think there's something here. There's a story here. And, your feedback was really encouraging because it was a big transitional time, reflection time for me of music. And that really started the journey. It really began the tale of this journey together.
Yeah, it really has. And indeed, I mean, it's, going back from the beginning, I recall when you sent me over the tracks and you're saying, hey, can you check these out and how would you work them? And I recall telling you as well, as I was saying, that my philosophy of it is that the individual songs, as good as they are, they might be difficult to translate or from a promotional standpoint, meaning somebody can listen to it and wouldn't really understand how to put it all together. So that's when we came up with the idea of the suggestion of saying, let's do a complete continuous mix, and we can present the songs in a mixed format, which would be able to make the songs themselves stand out more and be more understanding. But what I didn't recognize initially is when after spending time with the songs and arranging them, it really opened up my eyes about the emotion, and then the titles of the songs. The title of all the singles are what I found fascinating in the sense, or quite telling. When you look at it as a diversion of peace, the bare deception, and then discovery, and then open the sky, and then we're going to reboot this shit, and then construction, and then we ultimately, to me, what it all sounded like when along with the title tracks, and then with the emotion of the music and telling this whole story, and then when getting deeper into it, it's the beauty of music is we've just discovered this journey, where so I could go on and speculate on this, but you tell us what was, between these titles and between all of it, what are you trying to tell us here, Ed? I mean, what are you really trying to tell us? What is your story that you're trying to convey with us?
Your response was like, hey, I think there's something here. And it really helped inspire me to look at things differently and to hear the music differently. And I went back to the drawing board, and none of the tracks were named or released. I had already started working on some of the visuals. I don't think I even told you during that time, but I had some ideas. I was still formulating, but really it allowed me to go back to the drawing board and remember, what was I going through during that time? And as I started to think through it more, I was going through some of the toughest periods of my life during writing these tracks. And as I started just marinating more, it was like, wow, I hadn't really connected with that creative side of myself in a long time. Yeah, for many years, it's just helping people in the recording studio with their music, providing training through the online music production school, helping people in the web, SEO business. And I never really got the chance to give back or do some of those, apply some of those things to myself, really. And so that emerged, that transition for our collaboration. And we had contact back and forth, and I'd work on things. I'd send you things and you'd send me back, and we'd exchange different ideas as far as the content and the titles of the different things. And it's funny because, you check it with me and, like, hey, how's things going? And I'm like, and then I would check in with you on things, and you'd be like, and it's like some years, 2-3 year journey in this process. And, the first stage was putting out the Crying Wolf release, which was the EP. And then the visual aspect was, how do we make this work, this visual aspect work? And I knew that it really laid the foundation of expression in a couple different ways. First off, it got me thinking, like, I'm a music lifer. I'm going to be doing music for the rest of my life. And I think there's many people that can relate to that. what does the journey look like? I'm always going to be involved in some way. So what's my outlet? How am I going to do that? What's authentic to me creatively in every space? And so I was like, you know what, this visual medium and the music medium and the instrumentals, that's something that I can really express and I can get out. And I got really excited about that. It really inspired me to like, hey, there's an outlet here in this. And then I started to notice too that there's a body of work that's emerging from this. And I think that body of work, and you said it best, was really touching. It was like, this is a series of adversity into beauty, adversity into inspiration, and a journey of a visual and a music experience, and later to be called that full length music picture. And so that really became the summary of that expression.
You hit on something very key, that you had, through your work and the diversity of your work, you were always, helping others achieve and helping others. But this was a project that you took on your own and said, this is for me. And that's, am I on the right direction with that? And then tell us a little bit about that part of the process for you, because I can understand when you give a lot to helping others, and then when it's time for you to put your attention onto your own craft, it creates a different kind of emotion.
Absolutely. I think that was a different emotion for me just overall going through this experience, because there was two things that were happening. Just reflecting, it was an internal experience of being able to allow myself to dive in and apply a lot of the things that I learned through the years, while also evaluating external experiences. And just, there's, idealism of things that I thought how life worked. And then there was how life works, and realizing that failure actually is okay. Failure leads to success. Like, you fail, or failure is not failure. It's learning. It's not feeling bad about something, but it's finding the opportunity in that. And I think this project and us collaborating on it really helped bring that out of me, in a sense, to look at the circumstances. What were the external circumstances that were around me? And it really lent itself to the titles, the song titles, and just the tale of the crying wolf in general. It is a body of a work, a journey, a mix of songs that do flow together in an experience. I mean, from the discovery to the bare deception of things around, surrounding me or us in whatever interpretation anybody hears that, as well as, the wolves, the crying wolves that surround us, and how some of those things can, they just affected me in internally and externally. And it was cool because I got to explore that. And because of that, I started to narrow things down creatively and say, you know what, I need to make some executive decisions. I'm a lifer. I'm going to be doing music for the rest of my life. This is a growth process. As an artist, as a DJ, a producer, there's always a growth process happening. And this I was just able to identify, like, hey, I need to make some decisions. I love house music. House music of any kind is just awesome. I'm always going to play that. I'm going to DJ that. I'm going to produce that. This is an electronic progressive house project that's, it's turning into a storytelling from a video, from a music, from an instrumental. And it gave me a platform. A platform started to emerge and say, like, hey, here's how you can do it. Here's how you can get that creative outlet that you need. I mean, when I was playing in bands and, from punk rock to guitar to acoustic and vocals, and being able to just get that emotion out, to dancing and raves and getting that emotion out, it was like, oh, I just need that outlet. And where is that expression now? And so it's like, aha, this is great. It's reestablishing creativity. And, and it just reminded me that creativity in itself, it really lends to giving. in the business world, I realized any business that's giving or helping others always is in business. They're always succeeding. And I'm like, music can't be about me anymore. It's like this, hey, I just need to vent emotions or whatever. If I really want to do something and make it impactful, so it's not just about me. I mean, everybody who makes music wants it to be heard. So it's like, what's the best way to set up for that? Well, stories. I just realize emotional stories and taking my strengths. Everybody has their strengths. Everybody has their things that they're really good at. And then things that they're not so good at. I could be good at web and e-commerce and all these things. I'm very thankful for that. And other people maybe not so good, but they're good at something else. And I mean, take, for example, one of our best mates is awesome at accounting. I mean, creativity is in everything. He is the most creative dude I know. And he's the most stand-up. And, I mean, we've all hung out in Miami and just laughed. And it's awesome, And I think that that's encouraging for everybody. And there's creativity in everything, and it's all about, are we looking at the failure? Or are we looking at the opportunity? And, for me, it went from having the opportunity to look inward and evaluate life from a realistic standpoint or lens, but also create story and create emotion and create some fun and some mystery in that. And I think that the lens, especially in the time period right now, and just there's always something going on in the world. It just lends to the story and the encouragement for anybody watching this. What are you good at? What's your strengths? What is something that you've known like you're good at, or people have told you, but you maybe just didn't have enough confidence to believe in that or to go towards that. And what's your story? What can connect with people? How can you give back with that strength that you've been given or that creativity that you've been given? And it really lends itself to many things. It's just that going through that process has just transformed my outlook and given me just more of a foundational bed to work on other things and to have that outlet. It's really been awesome. And it's hindsight. A lot of it's more clarity. And I think that's, action. It's after action that things become clear. Sometimes when I just sit there and wonder and try to figure it out, it just wouldn't work. But as soon as I would take the action, the things would, emerge. And I think it's also encouragement for anybody who's just got that dream or that goal that they're just hanging on to, but not sure what to do. Just take action, take some steps, and it's really been amazing and surprising. It's really encouraging, some of the things that have come from all of this,
And it led you into other things as well. It led you into, I'll split it into two different things. It led you into more for your own production business, because it led you into doing video production for other clients, badass video productions on top of it as well. And it's, just badass. And then also too, this led you into both, further expanding into DJing, having a weekly DJ mix show now as well. And so that all stems from the beginning part of you as an artist inside of you saying like, okay, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be true to myself, and I'm going to pursue my craft and share that from a place of the natural place of it, not trying to be cool, not trying to make $1 billion or be a superstar, but because you're doing it because of the love and the passion that you've been doing.
For me, I'm just thankful because, you know what, I'm utilizing my strengths. I'm doing things that I enjoy in all areas, and I'm finding the different ways that I can add value and help others. And it's just, our collaboration, you helped pull some of that out of me. And, we've inspired each other through this journey. And I'm just thankful for that experience, because like you said, it has led to other things, and it's continually leading to other things. And that's exciting, because it's the whole reason why we do what we do, is to finally get that team and get the systems and just to be able to operate and do what we're supposed to do. It's part of our calling, part of our strengths, purpose. Everybody has their different perspective of how that works. But I think the encouraging part of it is for everybody, this is how we can give back. This is how we can connect and encourage those around us, in trying times, challenging times. just saying, encouraging other people through our strengths. I mean, that is the biggest thing I'm thankful for. And the reception and the feedback is just, it's been emotional for me. I'm very thankful for that. And I think, like you said, from DJing and radio show and just the experience and the journey of exploring more of the DJing aspect, after production, during production, and connecting to other people through that, that has been really fulfilling.
What is your heart telling us right now that we don't know, that we haven't got to yet?
I think that question brings me to the place of where I was when the project was finished. It was just wrapped up. The video's done, the titles, the content, the write-ups, the mixes are done, and I got to sit down and enjoy it for the first time. And quite a few times afterwards, I relished in the fact that this observation in music today and for a while, it's written in such a way where there's no guessing what the track is about. Like, songwriters are taught today, like, make your hook. The listener needs to know exactly what this hook is about. Undeniably, verse, hook, chorus, repeat, and there's not a lot of guesswork in that. And it made me reflect. That mindset makes me reflect of music from the Beatles times and around that era, where it was poetry. It was mysteriously written on purpose, and there was a mystique behind it. And I think a lot of people, listening to records and tapes and fast forwarding the CDs to some of that music, it's like, oh man, this is what I thought this meant when I first heard it, or what did you think this means? And like things like Strawberry Fields Forever, like you first hear that, like, what is it about? And then there's all these stories and interviews and different things you hear about it afterwards, and it kind of takes the fun out of it. So like, I didn't really want to know that. And even the next level was funny is there wasn't a lot of pictures of some of the artists. You didn't know what they looked like. So it was like I always had these pictures in my mind about what artists looked like, and the voice, and every time I see it, it's like the voice never matched up. So I kind of like not knowing, but then after a while it was okay, but it was just a silly little thought visual that I had in my head going through that experience of watching this come to completion. And then I was like, what's interesting is watching this for myself was like, it allowed me the opportunity to just have some time for myself and to just look in and, what is this bringing up for me? What's going on with me? It was an opportunity to check in with myself and say, hey, yo, how you doing, bro? And I think, that's something that I would say, for the listeners watching and anyone watching this tale of the crying wolf is, sit down and just enjoy the journey and what's going on with you. How is this affecting you, and what thoughts are coming up for you? What emotions? What is it bringing up for you? And I think some of the things that I went through, maybe you'll experience or you'll catch what I was expressing during the time, or maybe it's totally not even related. I think that's the exciting part of this project, and it was for me in the end, to be able to watch this a few times and just like, whoa, there's different things that are coming up for me, and each time I watched it, it was a different experience. That experience that we all go to and gravitate towards music in general is like, if I'm angry, if I'm upset, if I'm sad, I'm going to go towards that, and I'm going to, there's that outlet. And so, but some of that music tells us, it's like, hey, you go to that music because it kind of tells you how to feel. It tells you how to think. But, my hope is that, this music is written in such a way to be just a canvas of emotion for interpretation, and that would be my hope.
I think that you've done that, inclusive with this overall project. I mean, in all the components with it. I, for one, am really happy that it's reached this point, because now I know that you're not going to be calling me up every other week, busting my balls, asking me what status on Super Park Clip. So I'm definitely happy about that side of it. But and it's like, and then the fact of there is something. One of my favorite quotes was Frankie Knuckles, the Godfather of House. And he expressed it when it came to instrumentals and talked about productions, is that so eloquently in saying is that I have heard sounds that just reach down and touch my soul. And that's that's the end of the day. At the end of the day, kids, that's what you want to do. And so that's Mr. Puss. This is the big guy. So thank you, Ed, for coming in and sharing your experience with us in the background. There's a great takeaway here is being able to see how we can take episodes of our lives and turn them into beautiful musical journeys. And that's what we discovered, and that's what we found here in this story. So at this point, we want you to sit back, relax, and experience the tale of the crying wolf. Well, this concludes our journey with the tale of the crying wolf. Once again, my name is Robert Kechter. This is Into the Night. Our purpose and what we wanted to do here tonight is just not only just play some badass music, which we certainly did, but also it's to help inspire our listeners, inspire our DJs, inspire producers. This is how great music is made, by sharing and inspiration. So I hope that through this hour you've got entertained and educated all at the same time. So with that said, we'll catch you again at a different time. Once more, I'm Robert Kechter. This is Into the Night.